So we're going to start now with like a little thing for Shavuot and Parashat Bamidbar. So one of the most crucial questions that needs to be asked is, why does Am Yisrael get the Torah in the desert? Okay, and while we ask that question, we'll ask another question. Why does it say in Masechet Avot, Moshe kibel Torah miSinai? Where did he get the Torah from? From Hashem, right? miSinai. So these two questions need to be asked, and Be'emet, there's something very, very interesting about the desert, that there's mamash nothing there. So theoretically, a desert, as we know from the Torah, it's a punishment, right? Am Yisrael is supposed to leave Egypt, go into the desert, get the Torah, and Yashar go into Eretz Yisrael. What ends up happening? They travel around the desert for 40 years, and then they are able to go into Eretz Yisrael because of the Chet HaMeraglim. And the Meraglim go in, we send in the 12 Meraglim, 10 come back and say terrible, terrible things about Eretz Yisrael. They say it's Eretz Ochelet Yoshvea, that everything there is terrible. We look like little grasshoppers in the eyes of our enemies that are sitting in Eretz Yisrael, and we get punished to be in the Midbar for 40 years. The Sfat Emet says something really, truly amazing about the Midbar. He says, when Hashem gives us a punishment, it's a sweet punishment. It's not a bitter punishment. Right? The truth is, Am Yisrael didn't want to go into Eretz Yisrael. They had everything they wanted in the Midbar. That's why the Meraglim go in and say bad things about Eretz Yisrael. In the Midbar, we had man. Right? Hashem gave us man from the heavens. We had Slav. We had Amud Esh, Amud Anan. Hashem took care of all our needs. And we had Moshe Rabbeinu. We had the Torah. It was like this one huge, amazing kollel that everything was provided for us. And they didn't want to go into Eretz Yisrael and deal with wars, deal with agriculture, deal with politics. They were able to be in the desert, in the Amud Anan. So we learned that Am Yisrael get the Torah, and they're under Har Sinai. Hashem takes them to get the Torah, and there's a beautiful pasuk that explains the Ma'amad of Har Sinai. It says, "Ata oret aladat ki Hashem hu Elokim en od milvado." So they get to this ma'ala that they're with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, en od milvado. It's just them and HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and basically even them, they don't exist, because if there's en od milvado, right, that's the pasuk that describes the Ma'amad Har Sinai. Once it's en od milvado, that means that there is no existence out of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And what happens to the neshamot of Am Yisrael when they get the Torah? The neshamas leave their bodies, because there's en od milvado. Their neshamas become one with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. There is no olam. And we know that Hashem is El Mistater. Hashem is Hashem. Basically, we don't see him, right? He's not in our Metziut because we don't see him in the Metziut. So we were one with Hashem when we got the Torah. But then the question is, we know the Medrash that says, Kafalem Har Kigigit. Hashem forced Am Yisrael to take the Torah. But theoretically, from this pasuk, we see that we were one with Hashem. It was amazing to get the Torah, right? There was no nituk from Am Yisrael and the Kadosh Baruch Hu. So what's happening here? Any thoughts? Or theoretically, if we're one with Hashem, so it's a no-brainer that we're going to want the Torah. So what is the kafalem hal kigigit? We obviously wanted it. What is this medrash saying that kafalem hal kigigit? So the Sfat Emet says something beautiful. He says kafalem hal kigigit is because when we were one with Hashem, it's a no-brainer that we're going to want the Torah, right? For those minutes or those seconds that we were there with Har Sinai with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and en od milvado, there's no reality except for the Torah and the HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Of course we're going to want the Torah. But the kafalem hal kigigit is the 5 minutes afterwards, when we're not on that madriga, and then we go back to this world with our with reality, with materialism and everything that we have in this world, all the kshaim. So we'll say, wait, we accepted the Torah when we were on this high holy level, but now that we're far from that, this is not the Torah that we accepted. That was the Torah that we accepted, right? Kafalem hal kigigit is basically Hashem in a way deceived us, because we thought we'll be in this high spiritual level of Ma'amad Har Sinai, and then what happens? We drop down to the madriga of Midbar. And what do we keep on trying to do? We keep on trying to go back into that level, to get holy, to get spiritual again and again and again. And that's why we don't want to go into Eretz Yisrael. Right? We're very, very good staying in the Midbar, trying to go to that high level. Lehavdil, it's like someone that takes drugs, okay? And he's on this high. What does he always want to keep on doing? Take more. He wants to get to that high again. Okay, so he'll try to find different ways. And Am Yisrael, we were on that high. We're totally with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and that's exactly what we try to keep on going to every single day in the desert. And that's why that generation was not ra'ui to go into Eretz Yisrael, because the people that witnessed that high holy level, they weren't able to cope with the mitziut, with the reality of Eretz Yisrael. When do we accept the Torah from a place of love and a place of wanting to accept it? Remember what Chazal say? Hadul kiblua be'amei Achashverosh. In Masechet Megillah, right? In Masechet Megillah, it says that Am Yisrael accepted the Torah from love in the days of Achashverosh. And that's seemingly so off, because we don't even see Hashem's name in Megillat Esther. So how did they accept the Torah out of love? Because also there, it was Enel Milvado. When Am Yisrael were in Persia, right, with the decree of Haman and Achashverosh, we don't even see Hashem's name, because everything there was Metziut Elokit. Everything there was reality of Hashem in the Teva, without the Mechitzot. That's also the Enel Milvado, but in the opposite way. Persia was the Midbar that was built up. It's an oasis, right? Persia is basically an oasis. It's in the middle of the desert. You have everything you need. Achashverosh built up his empire in such a beautiful way that you were able to feel HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the Teva. And that's why when they accepted there, Hadul Kiblua Be'emei Achashverosh, they're accepting the Torah from a level that they're able to see HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the Teva without any mechitzot. And that's exactly what we're yearning for. The question will be, why does Hashem give us the Torah in such a high madrega, and then throws us out of that madrega? You understand the question? Like, he brings us up to that high spiritual level. Let us stay there. Why are you kicking us out? So I thought maybe it's like the baby that gets the whole Torah in the mother's in the rechem, right? The malach that teaches the baby all the Torah, and then we forget everything. Why are we forgetting it? Why learn it mechatchila if we're going to forget it? I think the yesod here is that we're learning the Torah because it becomes part of our DNA. And we're always yearning to go back to that Torah. We know that there was something there. We don't know exactly what it was because we forgot it. But when we relearn it, re-experience that Torah, it comes pretty naturally because we've been there before. Yes, we might have forgot it, but it's already in our DNA. To go back to that is not something that seems unimaginable. And I think Am Yisrael, when they get to that mitziut of Hadul Kiblua Be'amei Achashverosh, they're able to see HaKadosh Baruch Hu in such a form that he and the Teva are one. There are no mechitzot. That's one of the highest madrigot. So going into Parashat Bamidbar, but Parashat Bamidbar always leads up to Shavuot, because only in Bamidbar, when there's no other reality except for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Enel Milvado, right? Because there's nothing in the Midbar. Midbar is just like this one big desert, a lot of sand, not much other things. Also, Har Sinai wasn't this magnificent hill. It was one of like the lower mountains there. But that's exactly the way we accept the Torah. When it's just us and HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and that's the mitzvot that we're supposed to try to build up Eretz Yisrael to be. The mitzvot of the Teva, that we see HaKadosh Baruch Hu in every single aspect of life. That is the highest mitzvot of Enel Milvado that we experienced in the Midbar when we got the Torah, and that's the experience that we're supposed to, Be'ezrat Hashem, bring Am Yisrael to here in the land of Israel. So